Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now this has been the hypest Dragon Ball Z game since Fighter Z. And it's been a long time since we've gotten a Dragon Ball Z game that covers the whole Z saga in its story mode. And let me tell you, this game potentially has dozens of content, tons of unique and new character interactions, a grinding style RPG system, massive skill tree, open world, and 50 hours of gameplay plus. And yet, this game is shit. It's probably one of the worst Dragon Ball Z games I've played in a very, very long time. I played Lexia Goku, and I just don't understand why fishing feels like the best part of this game, yet when I do anything else it just feels like a chore, or even the main story just feels like extra work. But let me tell you why this game is probably the biggest disappointment we've gotten in a Dragon Ball Z game in a very long time. It's hard to pick one point that I can say I was just probably most disappointed in, because there was a lot. Personally, I know a lot of people told me that they didn't like the open world because it was only semi-open world. I don't care personally, because I don't mind, because it is pretty big, right? I don't mind that, you have to travel to some areas, because you still can explore like it's open world, but it's so lifeless. Like, there's not a lot of activity going around besides the few villages. You might find some people to talk to, but there's usually not a lot of dialogue, and it seems, especially later in the game, you rarely have to go to these areas. Actually, later in the game, it stops you from being able to actually explore. It forces you to do the main story. So, you kind of, at the beginning it's really nice, but then later on it starts to lose its value and how interesting it is. My biggest problem with the game is the RPG system. I think it's horrible. I think it's probably one of the worst RPG systems I've ever seen. It's extremely disappointing, and it just could have been a lot better. To kind of go into the reason why I think so is probably to start off with the skill system. It's a mess. You have a bunch of moves on the right which are like super moves, and a lot of them just don't have proper descriptions or details on them, like how much damage they do. That's pretty important. It tells you how much ki it uses, but it doesn't tell you the damage. So you could do one move, then do the other one, and just man, is there any fucking difference between Spirit Bomb and Dragon Fist? I don't really know. Different enemies, different levels, I can't really test it out. There's no training mode. Well, training mode to test out moves. There is a training mode, and with this training mode, it's kind of use it to get passive skills, which you have, which don't do jack shit. Passive skills are basically useless in this game. I don't understand why make an RPG game and just do absolute shit on the RPG part. Don't get me wrong, some people still love this game, and you can love this game if you want. If you like these type of games, because the combat, all you gotta do is basically just mash circle. There's no real variety in it. And like I said, if you like these type of games, hey, you do you, man. I know what type of games you like. But personally, I just prefer the actual grinding style RPG system, where you have to work towards something and actually have proper descriptions and details on certain things. Enemies were weak to certain types. Even when it comes down to EXP, you get EXP for just fighting bosses and doing the main story. You get no EXP for actually just grinding, and there's no reason to, because you get a big enough amount of EXP after beating a boss or just progressing throughout the story that you never have to grind, ever. And I only did it at the beginning because I thought I did, but then after a while I was like, nah, I could easily take on every other villain or enemy that came along the way, and that doesn't make any sense to me at all. There are some things I did like about the game, I'm not gonna just shit on the game. The community feature was nice. You'd go through and look through these soul emblems, and you could put these characters together, get a pretty interesting bonus. I thought it was really cool. I actually really liked that feature myself. But I guess mainly just the gameplay just ass. It's made by CyberConnect. They got really good, their animation, the graphics, the effects, everything's great on that end. Gameplay, mashing circle, classics, and even the enemy type. The hardest villain I fought in this game, and I'm all the way in probably the time this comes out, I'm done the game, and I'm already at the boost, I'm close to the end of it. Hardest villain though, Raditz. Raditz was the hardest villain I faced in this entire game, which is ridiculous to me that it was the first boss, I guess technically second boss, that I fought in the game, and he was the hardest challenge that I had. And I thought it was hilarious. I fought Frieza, I fought Cell, I fought the Ginyu Force. None of them were as hard as Raditz was. All the other guys were fucking, I would sweep through them. It was ridiculous. You'd be like, oh, at least the other enemies are also, pretty fun to play against, they're not really challenging, but they're fun to play against. There's almost no variety in enemies. There's like a few? There's like Red Ribbon Army, Cybermen, Cell Juniors. I'm not sure if I already said Cell Juniors because that's literally all there is left. that's all there is. There's no variety, which, I guess that makes sense because, I guess if they had humans flying around, it wouldn't make sense, but hey, I would take that because it gets boring when you do the side quests and then it's like, man, you gotta stop this criminal. And then they all just have these, red ribbon robots in their pocket and just like, oh, I gotta stop you. Red ribbon robots. There's even one quest was you were going around, helping Yamcha out, and he's talking to these chicks. Yamcha the stud, man. The Yamcha himself. He's picking up these ladies here, and they find out he cheated, and they just all have a red ribbon drone in their pocket, and just throw it out. I'm just like, what the fuck is it? What? Why do they have these? And then this is what the game is. It's really repetitive. It's really tedious. Honestly, they had a lot of good things about it. Like I said, the community system where you would have these soul emblems and there'd be characters. You put them together, you get a bonus. That's honestly a really good feature. I love the food mechanic. How you eat and you get a temporary boost and you get a really small permanent boost. I think what they should have did was when you eat, you get EXP. And then that was the way you get EXP in the game, and then you would level up like that. I think that would have been perfect. That would have made the leveling system a lot better. You would have to hunt for food if you wanted more EXP, and then you could just normally grind as well, right? That kind of fixes the problem a little bit. You also get ores, which you can use for vehicles, but you can just, no one really uses the vehicles besides when you have to do it in the story. So you could use the orbs for the ores for if you want to get equipment, right? There also are orbs in the game for skills, but honestly for the skills, they should just, I don't know, they probably have to rework that quite a bit if they want to make that better. There's so many characters you don't even play to. On it, this, it's so frustrating because I really wanted this game to be good, and it's just not. And we're not gonna get an RPG Dragon Ball Z game like Legacy of Goku, Boost Fury, Attack of the Saiyans. For a long time that would be good. And this game, clearly the developers didn't care about this game because they knew it was bad. They took, 2 DLCs came out, so basically a whole year to add feature in the systems so you could change the settings on your controls. And I think that's piss poor because a lot of people complain about it because they didn't like having to use circle to attack, including me. And they took a whole year just to fix that problem, which is ridiculous to me. Honestly, this game will probably be forgotten within a year or two, and no one's even gonna get, no one's gonna care in the slightest. And it saddens me because this game has so much potential and just ended up being ass. I can't even talk about this game anymore. It hurts me talking about this game. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys take care. See you next time. Peace out. Stay safe.